Okay, so we're gonna run this while I draft, or excuse me, open these packs. I may draft. I could. We'll see though. All right, second part of King Henry VI, Act One. Scene 1, London, a room of state and palace. Flourishing of trumpets and hot boys enter on one side, King Henry, Duke of Gloucester, Salisbury, Warwick, and Cardinal Beaufort on the other. Queen Margaret, led in by Suffolk, York, Somerset, Buckingham, and others following. As by your high imperial majesty, I had in charge at my depart for France, as procurator to your excellence, to marry Princess Margaret for your grace. So in the famous ancient city, Tours, in presence of the King of France and Sicily, the Dukes of Orleans, Calabar, Bretagne, and Alencon, 7 earls, 12 barons, and 20 reverend bishops, I have performed my task and was imposed. I was espoused, and humbly now upon my bended knee, in sight of England and her lordly peers, deliver up my title, and the Queen to your most gracious hands, that are the substance of that great shadow I did represent. The happiest gift that ever Marquis gave, the fairest Queen that ever King received. Suffolk, arise, welcome Queen Margaret. I can express no kinder sign of love than this kind kiss, O Lord, that lends me life, lend me a heart replete with thankfulness. For thou hast given me, in this beauteous face, a world of earthly blessings to my soul. If symphony of love unite our thoughts, great King of England and my gracious Lord, the mutual conference that my mind hath had by day, by night, waking and in my dreams, in courtly company, or at my bead with you, my altar leafiest sovereign, makes me the bolder to salute my king, with ruder terms, such as my wit affords, and overjoy of heart doth minister. Her sight did ravish, but her grace in speech, her words clad with wisdom's majesty, makes me from wondering fall to weeping joys, such as the fullness of my heart's content. Lords, with one cheerful voice welcome my love. Long live Queen Margaret, England's happiness. We thank you all. My Lord Protector, so it please your grace, here are the articles of contracted peace between our sovereign and the French King Clayton, for 18 months concluded by consent. In premise, it is agreed between the French King, Clayton and William de la Pole, Marquis of Suffolk, Ambassador for Henry King of England, that the said Henry shall espouse the Lady Margaret, daughter unto Rainier King of Naples, Cecilia, and Jerusalem the crown, and her Queen of England ere the 30th of May next ensuing. Item, that the Duchy of Anjou and the County of Maine shall be released and delivered to the King her father. Uncle, how now? Pardon me, gracious lord, some sudden qualm hath struck me at the heart, and dimmed mine eyes, that I can read no further. Uncle of Winchester, I pray read on. Item, it is further agreed between them that the Duchies of Anjou and Maine shall be released and delivered over to the King her father, and she sent over of the King of England own proper cost and charges, without having any dowry. They please us well. Lord Marquis, kneel down. We here create thee the first Duke of Suffolk, and girt thee with the sword. Cousin of York, we here discharge your grace from being a regent. I depart to France till term of 18 months be full expired. Thanks, Uncle Winchester, Gloucester, York, Buckingham, Somerset, Salisbury, and Warwick. We thank you all for this great favor done, in entertainment to my princely queen. Come, let us in, and with all speed provide to see her coronation be performed. Brave peers of England, pillars of state, to you Duke Humphrey must unload his grief, your grief, the common grief of all the land. What, did my brother Henry spend his youth, his valor, coin, and people in the wars? Did he so often lodge in open field, and winter's cold and summer's parching heat, to conquer France, his true inheritance? And did my brother Bedford toil his wits to keep his by policy what Henry got? Have you yourselves, Somerset, Buckingham, brave York, Salisbury, and victorious Warwick, received deep scars in France and Normandy? Or hath mine uncle Beaufort and myself, with all the learned counsel of the realm, studied so long, sat in the council house, early and late debating to and fro how France and Frenchmen might be kept in awe? And hath his Highness in his infancy been crowned in Paris, in despite of foes? And shall these labors and these honors die? Shall Henry's conquest, Bedford's vigilance, your deeds of war and all your counsel die? O peers of England, shameful is this league, fatal this marriage, cancelling your fame, blotting your names from books of memory, raising the characters of your renown, defacing monuments of conquered France, undoing all as all had never been. Nephew, what means this passionate discourse, this peroration with such circumstance? For France 'tis ours, and we will keep it still. Aye, uncle, we will keep it if we can, but now it is impossible we should. Suffolk, the new-made duke that rules the roast, hath given the Duchess of Anjou the main unto the poor King Rainier, whose large style agrees not with the leanness of his purse. Now, by the death of him who died for all, these counties were the keys of Normandy. But wherefore weeps Warwick, my valiant son? For grief that they are past recovery. For were there hope to conquer them again, my sword should shed hot blood, mine eyes no tears. Anjou and Maine, myself did win them both. Those provinces these arms of mine did conquer, and are the sites, and are the cities that I got with wounds, delivered up again with peaceful words. Mort Dieu. For Suffolk's duke, may he be sufficate, that dims the honor of this warlike isle. France should have torn and rent my very heart before I would have yielded to this league. I never read but England's kings have had large sums of gold and dowries with their wives, and our King Henry gives away his own, to match with her that brings no vantages. A proper jest, and never heard before that Suffolk should demand a whole 15th for costs and charges in transporting her. She should have stayed in France and starved in France. For my lord of Gloucester, now you grow too hot. It was a pleasure of my lord the king. My lord of Winchester, I know your wind. 'Tis not my speeches that ye mislike, but 'tis my presence that doth trouble ye. Rancour will out. Proud prelate, in thy face I see thy fury. If I longer say we shall begin our ancient bickerings, lordings, farewell, and say when I am gone, I prophesied France will be lost ere long. So there goes our protector in a rage. 'Tis known to you he is mine enemy, nay, more an enemy unto you all, and no great friend. I fear me to the king. Consider, lords, he is the next to blood, and heir apparent to the English crown, had Henry got an empire by his marriage, and all the wealthy kingdoms of the west. There's a reason he should be displeased at it. Look to it, lords, let not his smoothing words bewitch your hearts. Be wise and circumspect. What though the common people favor him, calling him Humphrey, the good Duke of Gloucester, clapping their hands and crying with loud voices, Jesu, maintain your royal excellence. With God preserve the good Duke Humphrey. I fear me, lord, for all this flattering gloss, he will be found a dangerous protector. Why should he then protect our sovereign, he being of age to govern of himself? Cousin of Somerset, join you with me, and altogether with the Duke of Suffolk, will quickly hoist Duke Humphrey from a seat. This weighty business will not brook delay. I'll to the Duke of Suffolk presently. Cousin of Buckingham, though Humphrey's pride and greatness of his place be grief to us, yet let us watch the haughty cardinal. His insolence is more intolerable than all the princes in the land beside. If Gloucester be displaced, he'll be protector. Or thou, or I, Somerset, will be protector, despite Duke Humphrey or the cardinal. Pride went before, ambition follows him. While these do labor for their own preferment, behoves it us to labor for the realm. I never saw but Humphrey, Duke of Gloucester, did bear him like a noble gentleman. Oft have I seen the haughty cardinal more like a soldier than a man or the church. As stout and proud as he were lord of all, swear like a ruffian and demean himself and like the ruler of commonweal. Warwick, my son, the comfort of my age, thy deeds, thy plainness, and thy housekeeping, have won the greatest favor of thy commons, excepting none but good Duke Humphrey, and brother York, thy acts in Ireland, in bringing them to civil discipline. thy late exploits done in the heart of France, when thou wert regent for our sovereign, have made thee feared and honored of the people. Join we together for public good, in what we can to bride and suppress the pride of Suffolk and the Cardinal, with Somerset's and Buckingham's ambition, and as we may cherish Duke Humphrey's deeds, while they do tend the profit of the land. So God help Warwick as he loves the land, and commit profit of his country. And so says York, for he hath greatest cause. Then let's make haste away, and look unto the Main. Unto the Main! Oh, Father, Maine is lost. That Maine which by main force Warwick did win, and would have kept so long as breath did last. Main champs, Father, you meant, but I meant Maine, which I will win from France, or else be slain. Anjou and Maine are given to the French. Paris is lost. The state of Normandy stands on a tickle point. Now they are gone. Suffolk concluded on the articles. The peers agreed, and Henry was well pleased to change 2 dukedoms for a fair daughter. I cannot blame them all. What is to them? 'Tis to thine they give away, and not their own. Pirates may make cheap pennyworths of their pillage, and purchase friends, and give to courtesans, still reveling like lords till all be gone. While as the silly owner of the goods weeps over them, and wrings his hapless hands, and shakes his head, and trembling stands aloof, while all is shared and all is borne away, ready to starve and dare not touch his own. So York must sit and fret and bite his tongue, while his own lands are bargained for and sold. Methinks the realms of England, France, and Ireland bear their proportion to my flesh and blood, as did the fatal brand Alethea, born into the prince heart of Caledon. Anjou and Maine both given unto the French. Cold news for me, for I had hoped of France, even as I have of fertile England's soil. A day will come when York shall claim his own, and therefore I will take the Neville's parts, and make a show of love to proud Duke Humphrey. And when I spy advantage claim the crown, for that's the golden mark I seek to hit. Nor shall proud Lancaster assert my right, nor hold the scepter in his childish fist, nor wear the diadem upon his head, whose church-like humours fit not for a crown. Then York, be still a while till time do serve. Watch thou and wake when others do asleep, to pry into secrets of the state. Till Henry, surfeiting in joys of love, with his noble bride and England's dear brought queen, and Humphrey with a peers be fallen at jars, then will I raise aloft the milk-white rose, with whose sweet smell the air shall be perfumed, and in my standard bear the arms of York, to grapple with the house of Lancaster, and force perforce all make him yield the crown, whose bookish rule hath pulled fair England down. Scene 2 the same. A room in the Duke of Gloucester house. Enter Gloucester and his Duchess. Why droops my lord, like over-ripened corn, hanging the head at Ceres, plant its load? Why doth the great Humphrey knit his brows, as frowning at the favours of the world? Why are thine eyes fixed to the sullen earth, gazing on that which seems to dim thy sight? What seest thou there? King Henry's diadem, enchased with all the honours of the world. If so, gaze on, and grovel on thy face, until thy head be circled with the same. Put forth thy hand, reach at the glorious gold. What is too short? I'll lengthen it with mine, and having both together heaved it up, we'll both together lift our heads to heaven, and never more abase our sight so low as to vouchsafe one glance unto the ground. O Nell, sweet Nell, if thou dost love thy lord, banish the canker of ambitious thoughts, and may that thought, when I imagine I'll against my king and nephew, virtuous Henry, be my last breathing in this mortal world. My troublous dream this night doth make me sad. What dream, my lord? Tell me, and I'll requite it. With sweet rehearsal my morning dream. Methought this staff mine office badge in court was broken twain, by whom I have forgot, but as I think it was by the cardinal, and on the pieces of the broken wand were placed the heads of Edmund, Duke of Somerset, and William de la Pole, first Duke of Suffolk. This was my dream. Voyage that bode, God knows. Tut, this was nothing but an argument, that he that breaks at stake of Gloucester Grove shall lose his head for his presumption. But list to me, my Humphrey, my sweet Duke. Methought I sat in seat of majesty in the cathedral church of Westminster, and in that chair where kings and queens are crowned, where Henry and Dame Margaret kneeled to me, and on my head did set the diadem. Nay, Eleanor, then must I chide outright. Presumptuous dame, ill-nurtured Eleanor, art thou not second woman in the realm, and the Protector's wife beloved of him? Hast thou not worldly pleasure at command, above the reach of compass of thy thought? And wilt thou still be hammering treachery, to tumble down thy husband and thyself from top of honor to disgraced feet? Away from me, and let me hear no more. What, my lord, are you so choleric? What Eleanor foretelling but her dream? Next time I'll keep my dreams unto myself, and not be checked. Nay, be not angry, I am pleased again. Enter a messenger. My Lord Protector, 'tis his highness' pleasure you do prepare to ride unto St. Albans, whereas the king and queen do mean to hawk. I go. Come now, thou wilt ride with us? Yes, my good lord, I'll follow presently. Follow I must, I cannot go before. While Gloucester bears this base and humble mind, where I a man, a duke, and next to blood, I will remove these tedious, stumbling blocks, and smooth my way upon their headless necks. And being a woman, I will not be slack to play my part in fortune's pageant. Where are you there, Sir John? Nay, fear not, man, we are alone. Here's none but thee and I. Enter Hume. Jesus preserve your royal majesty. What sayest thou, majesty? I am but grace. But by the grace of God and Hume's advice, your grace's title shall be multiplied. What sayest thou, man? Hast thou as yet conferred with Marguerite Jourdain, the cunning witch, with Roger Bolingbroke the conjurer? And will they undertake to do me good? This they have promised to show your highness a spirit raised from death of underground, that shall make answer to such questions as by your grace shall be propounded him. It is enough. I'll think upon the questions, when from St. Albans we do make return, we'll see these things effected to the full. Here, Hume, take this reward, make merry, man, with thy confederates in this weighty cause. Hume must make merry with the Duchess Gold, marry and shall. But how now, Sir John Hume? Seal up your lips, and give no words but Hume. The business asketh silent secrecy. Dame Eleanor gives gold to bring the witch. Gold cannot come amiss, were she a devil, yet have I gold flies from another coast. I dare not say from the rich cardinal, and from the great and new-made Duke of Suffolk. Yet I do not find it so, for, to be plain, they, knowing Dame Eleanor's inspiring humour, have hired me to undermine the Duchess and buzzy thee conjurations in her brain. They say a crafty knave doesn't need no broker. Yet am I Suffolk and the Cardinal's broker, Hume, if you take not heed, and shall go near to call them both a pair of crafty knaves. Well, so stands, and thus, I fear at last, Hume's knavery will be the Duchess' rack, and her attainture will be Humphrey's fall. Sword how shall have gold for it all. Scene 2, the same, a room in the palace. Enter 3 or 4 petitioners. Peter, the armorer's man, being one. My masters, let's stand close. My Lord Protector will come this way by and by, and then we may deliver our supplications in the quill. Mary, the Lord protect him, for he's a good man. Jesu bless him. Enter Suffolk and Queen Margaret. Here it comes, methinks, and the Queen with him. I'll be the first, sure. Come back, fool. This is the Duke of Suffolk and not my Lord Protector. How now, fellow? What's anything with me? I pray, my lord, pardon me. I took ye for my Lord Protector. To my Lord Protector, are your supplications to his lordship? Let me see them. What is thine? Mine is, an't please your grace, against John Goodman, my Lord Cardinal's man, for keeping my house and land, my wife, and all from me. Thy wife too. That is some wrong indeed. What's yours? What's here? Against the Duke of Suffolk for enclosing the commons of Melford. How now, sir knave? Alas, sir, I am but a poor petitioner of our whole township. Against my master Thomas Horner for saying that the Duke of York was rightful heir to the crown. What sayest thou? Did the Duke of York say he was rightful heir to the crown? That my master was? No, forsooth, my master said that he was, and that the king was an usurper. Who is there? Enter servants. Take this fellow in, and send for his master with a pursuivant presently. We'll hear more of your matter before the king. And as for you, that love to perfect it under the wings of our protector's grace, begin your suits anew and sue to him. Away, base Collins, Suffolk, let them go. Come, let's go gone. My lord of Suffolk, say, is this the guise? Is this the fashion of the court of England? Is this the government of Britain's isle? And this the royalty of Albion's king? What? Shall King Henry be a pupil still under the surely Gloucester's governance? Am I a queen in title and in style, and must be made subject to a duke? I tell thee, Pole, when in the city tours thou ranst to tilt in honor of my love, and stolest away the ladies' hearts of France, I thought King Henry had resembled thee, encouraged courtship in proportion, but all his mind is bent to holiness, to number Ave Marys on his beads. His champions are the prophets and apostles, his weapons holy saws of sacred writ, his study is his tilt yard, and his loves are brazen images of canonized saints. I, with the college of the cardinals, would choose him pope, and carry him to Rome, and set the triple crown upon his head, that were a state fit for his holiness. Madam, be patient, as I was cause your highness came to England, so will I in England work your grace full content. Besides the hot protector have we before't the imperious churchmen Somerset, Buckingham, and grumbling York, and not the least of these but can do more in England than the king. And he of these can do most of all cannot do more in England than the Nevilles. Salisbury and Warwick are no simple peers. Not all these lords do vex me half so much as a proud dame, the Lord Protector's wife. She sweeps it through the court with troops of ladies, more like an empress than Duke Humphrey's wife. Strangers in court do take her for the queen. She bears the duke's revenues on her back, and in her heart she scorns our poverty. Shall I not live to be avenged on her? Contemptuous base-born callet is she. She vaunted mongst her minions. To other day the very train of her worst wearing gown was better worth than all my father's lands, till Suffolk gave 2 dukedoms for his daughter. Madam, myself have limbed a bush for her, and placed a choir of such enticing birds that she will like to listen to the lathe, and never mount to trouble you again. So let her rest, and madam, listen to me. For I am bold to counsel you in this, although we fancy not the cardinal. Yet must we join with him and with the lords, till we have brought Duke Humphrey in disgrace. As for the Duke of York, this late complaint will make but little for his benefit. So the blur there that you keep going back and forth, you can stop doing that. So one by one we'll weed them all at last, and you yourself shall steer the happy helm. Sound the Senate. Enter King Henry York, and Somerset, Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, Cardinal Beaufort, Buckingham, Salisbury, and Warwick. For my part, noble lords, I care not which, or Somerset or York, all's one to me. If York have ill demeaned himself in France, then let him be denied the regentanship. If Somerset be unworthy of the place, let York be regent. I will yield to him. Whether your grace be worthy, yea or no, dispute not that. Work is worthier. Ambitious Warwick, let thy better speak. The cardinal's not my better in the field. All in this presence are thy betters, Warwick. Warwick may live to the best of all. Peace, son, and show some reason, Buckingham, why Somerset should be preferred in this. Because the king, forsooth, will have it so. Madam, the king is old enough himself to give his censure. These are no woman's matters. If he be old enough, what needs your grace to be protector of his excellence? Madam, I am protector of the realm, and at his pleasure will resign my place. Resign it then, and leave thine insolence, since thou wert king, as who is king but thou? The commonwealth hath daily run to rack. The Dauphin hath prevailed beyond the seas, and all the peers and nobles of the realm have been as bondmen of thy sovereignty. The commons hast thou racked, the clergy's bag are lank and lean with thy extortions. Thy sumptuous buildings and thy wife's attire have cost the mass of public treasury. Thy cruelty in the execution upon offenders hath exceeded law, and left thee to the mercy of the law. Thy sale of offices in towns in France, if they were known as the suspect and great, would make thee quickly hop without thy head. Give me my fan. What minion can ye not? I cry you mercy, madam, was it you? Was't I? Yea, it was. Proud French woman, could I come near your beauty with my nails, I'd set my 10 commandments in your face. Sweet aunt, be quiet. Was against her will. Against her will? Good king, look to't in time. She'll hamper thee and dandle thee like a baby. Though in this place most masks to wear no breeches, she shall not strike Dame Eleanor unrevenged. Lord Cardinal, I will follow Eleanor and listen after Humphrey, how he proceeds. She's tickled now, her fume can need no spurs. She'll gallop fair enough to her destruction. Re-enter Gloucester. Now, lords, my choler being overblown with walking once about the quadrangle, I come to talk of commonwealth affairs. As for your spiteful false objections, prove them, and I lie open to the law. But God in mercy so deal with my soul, as I in duty love my king and country. But to the matter that we have in hand, I say my sovereign York is the meetest man to be your regent in the realm of France. Before we make election, give me leave to show some reason of no little force, that York is most unmeet of any man. I'll tell thee, Suffolk, why I am unmeet. First, for I cannot flatter thee in pride. Next, if I be appointed for the place, my lord of Somerset will keep me here, without discharge, money, or furniture, till France be won into the Dauphin's hands. Last time I danced attendance on his will, till Paris was besieged, famished, and lost. What can I witness? And a fouler fact did never traitor in the land commit. Peace, headstrong Warwick. Image of pride, why should I hold my peace? Enter servants of Suffolk, bringing in Horner and Peter. Because here is a man accused of treason. Pray God the Duke of York excuse himself. Doth any one excuse York for a traitor? What meanest thou, Suffolk? Tell me, what are these? Please it your majesty, this is the man that doth accuse his magister of high treason. His words were these, that Richard Duke of York was rightful heir unto the English crown, and that your majesty was an usurper. Say, man, were these thy words? And shall please your majesty, I never said nor thought any such matter. God is my witness, I am falsely accused by the villain. By these 10 bones, my lords, he did speak them to me in the garret one night, as we were scouring my lord of York's armor. Base dunghill villain and mechanical, I'll have thy head for this thy traitorous speech. I do beseech your royal majesty, let him have all the rigor of the law. Alas, my lord, hang me if I spake the words. My accuser is my pretence, and when I did correct him for his fault, the other he did vow upon his knees he would be even with me. I have good witness of this. Therefore I beseech your majesty, do not cast away your honest man for a villain's accusation. Uncle, what shall we say to this in law? This doom, my lord, if I may judge. Let Somerset be regent o'er the French, because in York this breeds suspicion, and let these have a day appointed them for single combat in convenient place, for he hath witness of his servant's malice. This is the law, and this Duke's Humphrey's doom. Then it be so. My lord of Somerset, we make your grace lord regent o'er the French. I humbly thank your royal majesty, and I accept the combat willingly. Alas, my lord, I cannot fight. For God's sake, pity my case. Despite the man prevaileth against me, O Lord, have mercy upon me. I shall never be able to fight a blow. O Lord, my heart. Sirrah, or you must fight, or else be hanged. Away with him to prison, and the day of combat shall be the last of the next month. Come Somerset, we'll see thee sent away. Scene 4, the same, the Duke of Gloucester Garden. Enter Marjorie, Jourdain, Hume, Southwell, and Bolingbroke. Come, my master. The Duchess, I tell you, expects performance of your promises. Master Hume, we are therefore provided. Will her ladyship behold and hear our exorcisms? Aye, what else? Fear you not her courage. I have heard her reported to be a woman of invincible spirit, but it shall be convenient, Master Hume, that you may be her aloft while we be busy below. And so I pray you, go in God's name and leave us. Mother Jourdain be your prostrate and grovel on the earth. John Southwell read you, and let us do our work. Enter Duchess aloft, Hume following. Well said, my masters, and welcome all to this gear, the sooner the better. Patience, good lady, wizards know their times. Night, dark night, the silence of the night, the time of night when Troy was set on fire, the time when screech owls cry and band dogs howl and spirits walk and ghosts break up their graves. What time best fits the work we have in hand? Madam, sit you, and fear not. Whom we raise, we will make fast within a hallowed verge. Asmath, by the eternal God, whose name and power thou tremblest at, answer that I shall ask, for till thou speak, thou shalt not pass from hence. Ask what thou wilt, that I had said and done. First of the king, what shall of him become? The duke yet lives, that Henry shall depose, but him outlive and die a violent death. What fate awaits the Duke of Suffolk? By water shall he die and take his end. What shall befall the Duke of Somerset? Let him shun castles. Safer shall he be upon the sandy plains than where castles mounted stand. I've done for more I hardly can endure. Descend to darkness and the burning lake. False fiend, avoid. Enter York and Buckingham hastily with guards and others. Lay hands upon these traitors and their trash. Beldam, I think we watched you at an inch. What, madam, are you there? The king and commonweal are deeply indebted for this peace of pains. My lord protector will, I doubted not, see you well gurgeoned for these good deserts. Not half so bad as thine to England's king, injurious duke, that threats wears no cause. True, madam, none at all. What call you this? Away with them, let them be capped up close, and kept asunder. You, madam, shall with us. Stafford, take her to thee. We'll see your trinkets here all forthcoming, all the way. Lord Buckingham, methinks you watched her well, a pretty plot well chosen to build upon. Now pray, my lord, let's see the devil's writ. What have we here? The Duke yet lives, that Henry shall depose, but him outlive and die a violent death. Why, this is just. Oite, Arcadia Romanos vincere pose. Well, to the rest. Tell me what fate awaits the Duke of Suffolk. By water shall he die, and take his end. What shall betide the Duke of Somerset? Let him shun castles. Safer shall he be upon the sandy plains than where castles mounted stand. Come, come, my lords, these oracles are hardly attained and hardly understood. The king's now in progress toward St. Albans, with him the husband of this lovely lady. Thither go these news as fast as horse can carry them. A sorry breakfast for my lord protector. Your grace shall give me leave, my lord of York, to be the post in hope of his reward. At your pleasure, my good lord, who's within there go. Enter a serving man. Invite my lords of Salisbury and Warwick to sup with me tomorrow night. Away. Salisbury.
No sword can pierce my scales.
Most see Halo as quick coy.
Not very good. I don't like it. All right, continue this. I want to do a pack opening with the axe. Act 2 of the second part of King Henry VI. Scene 1, St. Albans. Enter King Henry, Queen Margaret, Gloucester Cardinal, Beaufort, and Suffolk, with falconers holaning. Believe me, lords, for flying at the brook, I saw not better sports these 7 years' day. Yet by your leave, the wind was very high, and 10 to 1 old Joan had not gone out. But what a point, my lord, your falcon made, and what a pitch she flew above the rest, to see how God in all his creatures works. Yeah, man and birds are fain of climbing high. No marvel, and it like your majesty. My lord protector's hawks do tower so well, they know their master loves to be aloft, and bears his thoughts above his falcon's pitch. My lord, 'tis but a base ignoble mind, that mounts no higher than a bird can soar. I thought as much. He'd be above the clouds. Ay, my lord cardinal, how think you by that? Were't not good your grace could fly to heaven? The treasury of everlasting joy. Thy heaven is on earth, thine eyes and thoughts beat on a crown, the treasure of thy heart, pernicious protector, dangerous peer, that smoothest it so with king and commonweal. What? Cardinal, is your priesthood grown peremptory? Tension animis sias tibius ire. So hot? Good uncle, hide such malice. With such holiness can you do it? No malice, sir, no more than well becomes so good a quarrel and so bad a peer. As who, my lord? Why, as you, my lord, and like your lordly lord protectorship. Suffolk, England knows thy insolent. And thy ambition, Gloucester. I prithee peace, good queen, and wet not on these furious peers, for blessed are the peacemakers on earth. Let me be blessed for the peace I make against this proud protector with my sword. Faith, holy uncle, would 'twere come to that. Marry, when thou darest, make up no factious numbers for the matter, in thine own person answer thy abuse. Ay, were thou darest not peep, and if thou darest, this evening on the east side of the grove. How now, my lords? Believe me, cousin Gloucester, had not your man put up the fowl so suddenly, we had had more of sport. Come with thy two-hand sword. True uncle, are you advised? The east side of the grove. Cardinal, I am with you. Why, how now, Uncle Gloucester? Talking of hawking, nothing else, my lord. Now, by God's mother, priest, I'll shave your crown. For this or all my fence shall fail. Protector, see it well protect yourself. The winds grow high, so do your stomachs, lords. How irksome is this music to my heart. Are you putting up those tacos?
There's not enough room.
Hey, are you putting up those tacos? That pipe, get off it. When such strings jar, what hope of harmony? I pray, my lords, let me compound this strife. Enter one crying a miracle. What means this noise? What miracle dost thou proclaim? A miracle? A miracle! Come to the king and tell him what miracle. Forsooth a blind man at St. Albin's shrine within a half hour hath received his sight, a man that ne'er saw his in his life before. Now, God be praised that believing souls give light in darkness, comfort in despair. Enter the mayor of St. Albans and his brethren, and Simcox, born between two persons in a chair, his wife and a great multitude following. Here comes the townsman on oppression, to present your highness with the man. Great is his comfort in this earthly vale, although by his side his sin be multiplied. Stand by, my masters, bring him near the king. His highness, pleasure is to talk with him. Good fellow, tell us here the circumstance, that we for thee may glorify the Lord. What? Hast thou been long blind, and now restored? born blind, and please your grace. Aye, indeed was he. What woman is this? His wife, and like your worship. Hadst thou been his mother, thou couldst have better told. Where wert thou born? Berwick in the north, and like your grace. Poor soul, God's goodness hath been great to thee. Let never day nor night unhallowed pass, but still remember what the Lord hath done. Tell me, good fellow, camp'st thou here by chance, or of devotion to this holy shrine? God knows of pure devotion, being called 100 times and oftener in my sleep, by good Saint Alban, who said, Simcox, come, come, offer at my shrine, and I will help thee. Most true forsooth, and many time and oft myself have heard a voice to call him so. What, art thou lame? Aye, God Almighty help me. How camp'st thou so? I fall off of a tree. A plum tree, master? How long hast thou been blind? Oi, born so, master? What, and wouldst climb a tree? But that in all my life, when I was a youth, too true, and boughtest climbing very dear. Mass, thou lovest plums well, what wouldst venture so? Alas, master, my wife desired some damson, and made me climb with danger in my life. A subtle knave, but yet it shall not serve. Let me see thine eyes. Wink now. Now open them. In my opinion, yet thou seest not well. Yes, master, clear the day, I thank God and Saint Alban. Say'st thou me so? What color is this cloak of? Red, master, red as blood. Why, that's well said. What color is my gown of? Black, forsooth, coal black as jet. Why, then thou knowest what color jet is of. And yet I think jet did he never see, but cloaks and gowns before the stay of many. Never before the stay in all his life. Tell me, sir, what's my name? Alas, master, I know not. What's his name? I know not. Nor his? No, indeed, master, what's thine own name? Saunders Simcox, and if it please you, master, then Saunders sits there, the lyingest knave in Christendom. If thou hadst been born blind, thou mightest well have known all our names, as thus to name the several colors we do wear. Sight may distinguish of colors, but suddenly to nominate them all, it is impossible. My lords, St. Alban here hath done a miracle, and would ye not think that cunning to be great that would restore this cripple to his legs again? Oi, master, that you could.
Then fight for it. Let's surprise
My master, the St. Albans, have you not beetles in your town, that things called whips? Yes, my lord, if it please your grace. Then send for one presently. Sir, go fetch the beetle hither straight. Now fetch me a stool hither by and by. A tool brought out? Now, sir, if you mean to save yourself from
Yours
whipping,
all
leap me
part
over
of
the
my
stool and run away. Alas, master, I am not able to stand alone. You go about to torture me in vain. Re-enter attendant and a beetle with whip. Well, sir, we must have you find your legs. Sir Beetle, whip him till he leap over that same stool. I will, my lord. Come on, sir, off with your doublets quickly. Alas, master, what shall I do? I am not able to stand. O God, seest thou this, and bearest so long? It made me laugh to see the villain run. Follow the knave, and take this drab away. Alas, sir, we did it for pure need. Let them be whipped through every market town, till they come to Berwick, from whence they came. Duke Humphrey has done a miracle today.
Follow me, Papa.
True, made the lame to leap and fly away, but you have done more miracles than I. You made in a day, my lord, whole towns to fly. Enter Buckingham. What tidings with our cousin Buckingham? Such as my heart just trembled to unfold. I sort of naughty person, lewdly bent, under the countenance and confederacy of Lady Eleanor, the protector's wife, the ringleader and head of all this rout, have practiced dangerously against your estate, dealing with witches and conjurers, whom we have apprehended in fact, raising up wicked spirits from underground, demanding of King Henry's life and death, and other of your highness, privy council, as more to large your grace shall understand. And so, my lord protector, by this means your lady is forthcoming, yet at London. This news, I think, hath turned your weapon's edge. 'Tis like my lord, you will not keep your hour. Ambitious churchman, leave to afflict my heart. Sorrow and grief have vanquished all my powers, and victorious as I am, I yield to thee, or to the meanest groom. Oi, God, what mischiefs work the wicked ones, heaping confusion on their own heads thereby. Gloucester, see here the tincture of thy nest, and look thyself be faultless, thou wert best. Madam, for myself to heaven I do appeal, how I have loved my king and commonweal, and for my wife I know not how it stands. Sorry I am to hear what I have heard. Noble she is, but if she have forgot honor and virtue, and conversed with such as like to defile nobility, I banish her my bed and company, and give her as a prey to law and shame that hath dishonored Gloucester's honest name. Well, for this night we will repose us here. Tomorrow toward London back again, to look into this business thoroughly, and call these foul offenders to their answers, and poise the cause and justice equal scales, whose beam stands sure, whose rightful cause prevails. Scene 2. London, the Duke of York's garden. Enter York, Salisbury, and Warwick. Now, my good lords of Salisbury and Warwick, our simple supper ended, give me leave. In this close walk to satisfy myself in craving your opinion of my title, which is valuable to England's crown. My lord, I long to hear it at full. Sweet York, begin, and if thy claim be good, the Nevilles are thy subjects to command. Then thus Edward III, my lords, had 7 sons. The first, Edward the Black Prince, Prince of Wales. The second, William of Hatfield, and the third, Lionel, Duke of Clarence, next to whom was John of Gaunt, the Duke of Lancaster. The fifth was Edmund Langley, Duke of York. The sixth was Thomas of Woodstock, Duke of Gloucester. William of Windsor was the seventh and last. Edward the Black Prince died before his father and left behind him Richard, his only son, who after Edward III's death reigned as king, till Henry Bolingbroke, Duke of Lancaster, the eldest son and heir of John of Gaunt, crowned by the name of Henry IV, seized on the realm, deposed the rightful king, sent his poor queen to France, from whence she came, and him to Pomfret, whereas all you know, harmless Richard was murdered traitorously. Father to Duke hath told the truth, thus got the house of Lancaster the crown, which now they hold by force and not by right. For Richard the first son's heir being dead, the issue of the next son should have reigned. But William of Hatfield died without an heir. The third son, Duke of Clarence, from whose line I claimed the crown, had issue Philip, a daughter who married Edmund Mortimer, Earl of March. Edmund had issue Roger, Earl of March. Roger had issue Edmund, Anne, and Eleanor.
I'm listening, sorry.
This Edmund, in the reign of Bolingbroke, Genesis, as I have read, laid claim unto this crown, and but for Owen Glendower, had been king, who kept him in captivity till he died, but to the rest. His eldest sister Anne, my mother, being heir unto the crown, married Richard, Earl of Cambridge, who was son to Edmund Langley, Edward III's fifth son. But her I claimed the kingdom. She was heir to Roger, Earl of March, who was the son of Edmund Mortimer, who married Philippe's sole daughter unto Lionel, Duke of Clarence. So if the issue of the eldest son succeed before the younger, I am king. What plain proceeding is more plain than this? Henry doth claim the crown from John of Gaunt. The fourth son, York, claims it from the third, till Lionel's issue fails. His should not reign, it fails not yet, but flourishes in me and my sons. Fair slips of such a stock, then further Salisbury kneel we together, and in this private plot we be the first that shall salute our rightful sovereign with honor of his birthright of the crown. Long live our sovereign Richard, England's king. We thank you, lords, but I am not your king, till I be crowned that my sword be stained with heart blood of the house of Lancaster, and that's not something to be performed, but with advice and silent secrecy. Do you as I do in these dangerous days, Clayton Dale Smith. At Beaufort's pride, at Somerset's ambition, at Buckingham, and all the crew of them, till they have snared the shepherd of the flock, that virtuous prince, the good Duke Humphrey. 'Tis that they seek, and they, in seeking that, shall find their death, if York,
can prophesy. My lord, break we off. We know your mind at full. My heart assures me that the Earl of Warwick shall one day make the Duke of York a king. And Neville, this I do assure myself. Richard shall live to make the Earl of Warwick the greatest man in England, but the king. You three the same, a hall of justice. Trumpets sounded. Enter King Henry, Queen Margaret, Gloucester, York, Suffolk, and Salisbury. The Duchess of Gloucester, Marjorie, Jourdain, Southwell, Hume, and Bolingbroke, the guard. Stand forth, Dame Eleanor, Cobham, Gloucester's wife. In sight of God and us, your guilt is great. Receive the sentence of the law for sins such as by God's book are adjudged to death. You four from hence to prison back again. From thence unto the place of execution, the which in Smithfield shall be burned to ashes. And you three shall be strangled on the gallows. You, madam, for you are more noble born, despoiled of your honor and your life, shall after 3 days open penance done, live in your country here in banishment with Sir John Stanley in the Isle of Man. Welcome is banishment, welcome were my death. Eleanor, the law, thou seest hath judged thee. I cannot justify whom the law condemns. Mine eyes are full of tears, my heart of grief. Ah, Humphrey, this thus dishonor in thine age will bring thy head with sorrow to the ground. I beseech your majesty, give me leave to go. Sorrow would solace and mine age would ease. Stay, Humphrey, Duke of Gloucester, ere thou go. Give up thy staff. Henry will to himself protector be, and God shall be my hope. My stay, my guide, and lantern to my feet, and go in peace, Humphrey, no less beloved than when thou wert protector to thy king. I see no reason why a king of years should be to be protected like a child. God and King Henry govern England's helm. Give up your staff, sir, and the king is throne. My staff here, noble Henry, is my staff. As willingly do I the same resign. As ere thy father Henry made it mine, and even as willingly at thy feet I leave it, as others would ambitiously receive it. Roman, farewell, good king. When I am dead and gone, may honorable peace attend thy throne. Why now is Henry king, and Margaret queen, and Humphrey, Duke of Gloucester, scarce himself, that bears so shrewd a main. 2 pools at once, his lady banished, and a limb lopped off. This staff of honor wrought, there let it stand, where it best fits to be in Henry's hand. Thus droops this lofty pine, and hangs he praise. Thus Eleanor Pride dies in her youngest days. Lords, let him go. Please, at your majesty, this is the day appointed for the combat. And ready are the appellant and defendant, the armorer and his man, to enter the lists, so please your highness to behold the fight. Aye, good my lord, for purposely therefore left I the court, to see this quarrel tried. Oi, God's name, see the list and all things fit. Here let them end fit, and God's defend the right. I never saw a fellow worse bested, or more afraid to fight than is the appellant, the servant of this armorer, my lord. Enter on the side Horner and his neighbors, drinking to him so much that he is drunk. And he entered, bearing his staff with a sad bag fastening to it, a drum before him on the other side, Peter with a drum and a sandbag, and princesses drinking to them. I was just thinking of Machiavelli. Here, neighbor Horner, I drink to you in a cup of sack, and fear not, neighbor, you shall do well enough. And here, neighbor, here's a cup of charnock. And here's a pot of good double beer, neighbor, drink and fear not your man. Let it come, aye, faith. And I'll pledge you all, and a fig for Peter. Here, Peter, I drink to thee, and be not afraid. Be merry, Peter, and fear not thy master. Fight for credit of the apprentices. I think you all drink and pray for me. I pray you, for I think I have taken my last draught in this world. Here, Robin, and if I die, I give thee my apron, and wilt thou shalt have my hammer? And here, Tom, take all the money that I have. Oh, Lord, bless me, I pray, God, for I am never able to deal with my master. He hath learnt so much fits already. Come, leave your drinking and fall to blows. Sarah, what's thy name? Peter, forsooth. Peter, what more? Thump. Thump? Then see thou thump thy master well. Masters, I am come hither, as it were, upon my man's instigation to prove him a knave, and myself an honest man. And touching the Duke of York, I will take my death. I never meant him any ill, nor the king nor the queen, and therefore Peter had at thee with a downright blow. Dispatch! This knave's tongue begins to double. Sound trumpets alarm to the combatants. Hold! Peter, hold. I confess treason. Take away his weapon. Fellow, thank God and the good wine to the master's way. Oi, God, have I overcome mine enemies in this presence? Oi, Peter, thou hast prevailed in right. Go take hence that traitor from our sight, for by his death we do perceive his guilt. And God in justice hath revealed to us the truth and innocence of this poor fellow, which he had thought to have murdered wrongfully. Come, fellow, us for thy reward. Scene 4, the same a street. Enter Gloucester and serving men in mourning cloaks. Thus sometimes hath the brightest day cloud, and after summer evermore succeeds barren winter, with his wrathful, nipping cold. So cares and joys abound as seasons fleet, sirs. What's o'clock? 10, my lord. 10 is the hour that was appointed me to watch the coming of my punished duchess. Aneath may she endure the flinty streets, to tread them with her tender feeling feet. Sweet Nell, ill can thy noble mind brook the abject people, gazing on my face with envious looks, still laughing at thy shame, that erst did follow thy proud chariot wheels, when thou didst ride in triumph through the streets. But soft, I think she comes, and I'll prepare my tear-strained eyes to see her miseries. Enter the Duchess of Gloucester, with papers pinned upon her back and a white sheet, her feet bare and a taper burning in her hand. Sir John Stanley, a sheriff, and officers. So please your grace, we'll take her from the sheriff. No, sir, not, for your lives. Let her pass by. Come you, my lord, to see my open shame? Now thou dost penance too? Look, how they gaze. See, how the giddy multitude do point, and nod their heads, and throw their eyes on thee. Ah, Gloucester, hide thee from their hateful looks, and in thy closet pent up rue my shame, and ban thy enemies, both mine and thine. Be patient, gentle Nell, forget this grief. I, Gloucester, teach me to forget myself, for whilst I think I am thy wedded wife, and thou a prince, protector of this land, methinks I should not thus be led along, mailed up in shame, with papers on my back, and followed with a rabble that rejoice to see my tears and hear my deep-set groans. The ruthless flint doth cuff my tender feet, and when I start, the envious people laugh and bid me be advised how I tread. Ah, Humphrey, can I bear this shameful yoke? Trowest thou that ere I'll look upon the world, or count them happy that enjoy the sun? No, dark shall be my light, and night my day. To think upon my pomp shall be my hell. Sometime I'll say, I am Duke Humphrey's wife, and he a prince and ruler of the land. Yet so he ruled, and such a prince he was, as he stood by, whilst I, his forlorn duchess, was made a wonder, and a pointing stock to every idle rascal follower. But be thou mild, and blush not at my shame. Not stirreth nothing till the axe of death hang over thee, as sure it shortly will. For Suffolk, he that can do all in all with her that hateth thee, and hates us all. And York, and impious Beaufort, that false priest, have all limbed bushes to betray thy wings, and fly thou how thou canst. They'll tangle thee, but fear not thou, until thy foot be snared, nor never seek prevention of thy foes. Ah, Nell, forbear, thou aimest all awry. I must offend before I be attained. And had I 20 times so many foes, and each of them had 20 times their power, All these could not procure me any scath, so long as I am loyal, true, and crimeless. Wouldst have me rescue thee from this reproach? Why, yet thy scandal would not whip away, but I in danger for the breach of law. Thy greatest help is quiet, gentle Nell. I pray thee, sort thy hearts to patience. These few days, wonder will be quickly won. Enter a herald. I summon your grace to his majesty's parliament, holding at Bury the 1st of this next month. And my consent ne'er asked herein before. This is close dealing. Well, I will be here. My Nell, I take my leave, and Master Sheriff, let not her penance exceed the king's commission. And please you grace, here my commission stays, and Sir John Stanley is appointed, now to take her with him to the Isle of Man. Must you, Sir John, protect my lady here? So am I given in charge, mate, please your grace. Entreat her not the worse, and that I pray you use her well. The world may laugh again, and I may live to do your kindness if you do with her. And so, Sir John, farewell. What, gone, my lord, and bid me not farewell? Witness my tears, I cannot say to speak. Art thou gone too? All comfort go with thee, for none abide with me, my joy is death. Death at whose name I oft have been afeard, because I wish this world's eternity. Stanley, I prithee, go, and take me hence. I care not whither, for I beg no favour, and only convey me where thou art commanded. Why, madam, that is to the Isle of Man, there to be used according to your state. That's bad enough, for I am but reproach, and shall I then be used reproachably? Like to a duchess and Duke Humphrey's lady, according to that state you shall be used. Sheriff, farewell, and better than I fare, although thou hast been conduct of my shame. It is my office, and madam, pardon me. Aye, farewell, thy office is discharged. Come, Stanley, shall we go? Madam, your penance done, throw off this sheet, and go, we to attire you for our journey. My shame will not be shifted with my sheet. No, it will hang upon my richest robes, and show itself. Attire me how I can. Go, lead the way. I long to see my prison. Act 3. Second part of King Henry VI, Part 2. Scene 1, the Abbey at Bury, St. Edmunds. Sound of Senate, enter for the Parliament, King Henry, Queen Margaret, Cardinal, Beaufort, Suffolk, York, Buckingham, and others. I muse my Lord of Gloucester is not come. 'Tis not his wont to be the hindmost man. Whate'er occasion keeps him from us now. Can you not see, or will you not observe the strangeness of his altered countenance? With what a majesty he bears himself, how insolent of late he is become. How proud, how peremptory, and unlike himself. We know the time since he was mild and affable, and if we did but glance a far-off look, immediately he was upon his knee, that all the court admired him for submission. But meet him now, and be it in the morn, when everyone will give the time of day, he knits his brow and shows an angry eye and passes by with stiff, unbowed knee, disdaining duty that due us belongings. Small curs are not regarded when they grin, but great men tremble when the lion roars, and Humphrey is no little man in England. First note that he is near you in descent, and should you fall, his neck will mount. Meseemeth then it is no policy, respecting what a rancorous mind he beareth, and is an advantage following your decease, that he should come about your royal person, or be admitted to your highness' council. By flattery hath he won the commons' hearts, and when he pleased to make commotion, to be feared, they all will follow him. Now 'tis the spring, and weeds are to follow rooted. Suffer them now, and they'll o'ergrow the garden, and choke the herbs for want of husbandry. The reverent care I bear to my lord made me collect these dangers in the duke. If it be fond, call it a woman's fear. Which fear to better reasons can supplant. I will subscribe and say I wronged of the duke. My lord of Suffolk, Buckingham, and York, reprove my allegation if you can, or else conclude my words effectual. Well, hath your highness seen into his duke? And had I first been put to speak my mind, I think I should have told your grace's tale. The duchess, by his subordination, upon my life, begin her devilish practices. Or if he were not privy to these faults, yet by reputation of his high descent, as next the king he was successive heir, and such high vaunts of his nobility, did instigate the bedlam brain-sick duchess, by wicked means to frame our sovereign's fall. Smooth runs the water where the brook is deep, and in his simple show he harbors treason. The fox barks not when he would steal the lamb. No, no, my sovereign, Gloucester is a man unsounded yet, and full of a deep deceit. Did he not, contrary to form of law, devise strange death for small offences done? And did he not, in his protectorship, levy great sums of money through the realm for soldiers' pay in France, and never sent it? By means whereof the towns each day revolted. Tut. These are petty faults to faults unknown, which time will bring to light and smooth do comfrey. My lords, at once the care you have of us, to mow down thorns that would annoy our foot, is worthy praise, but shall I speak my conscience, our kinsman Gloucester is as innocent from meaning treason to our rural persons as is the sucking lamb of harmless dove.
Nature provided the blues.
The Duke is virtuous, mild and too well given to dream on evil, or to work my
Aerial
downfall.
conduct is simply elegant.
Ah, what's more dangerous than this fond defiance? Seems he a dove. His feathers are but borrowed, for he's disposed as the hateful raven. Is he a lamb? His skin is surely lent him, for he's inclined as is the ravenous wolf, who cannot steal a shape that means deceit. Take heed, my lord. The welfare of us all hangs on the cutting short that fraudful man. Enter Somerset. All health unto my gracious sovereign.
Let's see
Welcome,
where
Lord
this
Somerset.
trade
What's
goes.
news from France? That all your interest in those territories is utterly bereft. You, all is lost. Cold news, Lord Somerset, but God's will be done. Cold news for me, for I had hope of France, as firmly as I hoped for fertile England. Thus are my blossoms blasted in the bud, and caterpillars eat my leaves away. But I will remedy this gear ere long, or sell my title for a glorious grave. Enter Gloucester. All happiness unto my lord the king. Pardon, my liege, that I have stayed so long. Nay, Gloucester, know that thou art come too soon. Unless thou wert more loyal than thou art, I do arrest thee of high treason here. Well, Suffolk the Duke, thou shalt not see me blush, nor change my countenance for this arrest. A heart unspotted is not easily daunted. The purest spring is not so free from mud as I am clear from treason to my sovereign. Who can accuse me? Wherein am I guilty? 'Tis thought, my lord, that you took bribes of France out of the camera, and being protector stayed the soldiers' pay, by means whereof his highness hath lost France. Talking out of the camera. Is it but thought so? What are they that think it? I never robbed the soldiers of their pay, nor ever had one penny bribed from France. So help me God, as I have watched the night, I night by night in studying good for England, that doit that ere I wrested from the king, or any groat I hoarded to my use, be brought against me at my trial day. No, many a pound of mine own proper store, because I would not tax the needy commons. Have I disbursed to the garrisons, and never asked for restitution? It serves you well, my lord, to say so much. I say no more than truth, so help me God. In your protectorship you did devise strange tortures for offenders. Never heard of that England was defamed by tyranny. Why, 'tis well known that whiles I was protector, pity was all the fault was in me. India. For I should melt at an offender's tears, and lowly words were ransom for the fault. Out of the camera.
Pretty happy with that.
Unless it were a bloody murder, or foul felonious thief that fleeced poor passengers. I never gave them condign punishment. Murder indeed, that bloody sin. I tortured above that felon, or what trespass else. My lord, these faults are quickly answered, but mightier crimes are laid unto your charge, whereof you cannot easily purge yourself. I do arrest you in his highness' name, and here commit you to my lord cardinal to keep until your further time of trial. My lord of Gloucester, 'tis my special hope that you will clear yourself from all suspect. My conscience tells me you are innocent. Ah, gracious lord, these days are dangerous. Virtue is choked with foul ambition, and charity chaste hence by rancor's hand. Foul subordination is predominant, and equity exiled your highness land. I know their complot is to have my life, and if my death might make this island happy, and prove the period of their tyranny, I would expend it with all willingness. But mine is made the prologue to the play, for thousands more that yet suspect no peril will not conclude their plotted tragedy. Beaufort's red sparkling eyes blab his heart's malice,
It's pretty good.
and Suffolk's cloudy brow
Island
his
is-
stormy
it's
hate.
beautiful.
Sharp Buckingham unburdens with his tongue the envious load that ties
He
upon
just
his heart.
spat at you.
And dogged York that reaches at the moon, whose overweening arm I have
He
plucked
just
back
moved you.
by false accuse, doth level at my life. And you, my sovereign lady, with the rest, causeless have laid disgraces on my head, and with your best endeavors have stirred up my leafiest liege to be mine enemy. Aye, all of you have laid your heads together. Myself had a notice of conventicles, and all to make away my guiltless life. I shall not want false witness to condemn me, nor store of treasons to augment my guilt. The ancient proverb will be well affected. A staff is quickly found to beat a dog. My liege, his railing is intolerable. If those that care to keep your royal person from treason's secret knife and traitorous rage be thus upbraided, chid, and rated at, and the offender granted scope of speech, 'twill make them cool in zeal unto your grace. Hath he not twitched our sovereign lady here with ignominious words, though clerkly couch, as if she had suborned some to swear false allegations to overthrow his state? But I can give the loser leave to chide. Far truer spoke than meant, I lose indeed. Beshrew the winners, for they played me false, and well such losers may have leave to speak. He'll rest the sense and hold us there all day. Lord Cardinal, he is your prisoner. Sirs, take away the Duke, and guard him short. Ah, thus King Henry throws away his crutch, before his legs be firm to bear his body. Thus is the shepherd beaten from my side, and wolf or gnarling shall gnaw thee first. Ah, that my fear were false, ah, that it were. For good King Henry thy decay I fear. My lords, what to your wisdom seems best, do or undo as if ourself were here. What, will your highness leave the parliament? Aye, Margaret, my heart is drowned with grief, whose flood begins to flow within mine eyes, my body round, angereth with misery. For what's more miserable than discontent? Ah, Uncle Humphrey, in thy face I see the map of honor, truth, and loyalty, and yet, good Humphrey, is the hour to come that ere I proved thee false, or feared thy faith, what lowering star now envies thy estate, that these great lords and Margaret, our queen, do seek subversion of thy harmless life. Thou never didst them wrong, nor so man wrong. And as the butcher takes away the calf, and binds the wretch and beats it when it strays, bearing it to the bloody slaughterhouse, even so remorseless have they borne him hence. And as the dam runs lowing up and down, looking the war her harmless young one went, and could do no not, but wail her darlings a loss, even so myself bewails good Gloucester's case, with sad unhelpful tears, and with dimmed eyes look after him and cannot do him good. So mighty are his vowed enemies, his fortunes I will weep, and twixt each groan say, who is the traitor? Gloucester he is none. Fair lords, cold snow melts with the sun's hot beams. Henry my lord is cold in great affairs. Too full of foolish pity, and Gloucester's show beguiles him as a mournful crocodile, with sorrow's snare of relenting passengers. or as the snake rolled in a flowering bank with shining checkered slough doth sting a child, that for the beauty thinks it's excellent. Believe me, lords, we're none more wise than I, and yet herein I judge mine own wit good. This Gloucester should be quickly rid the world, to rid us from the fear we have of him. That he should die is worth policy, and yet we want a colour for his death. 'Tis meet he be condemned by course of law. But in my mind that were no policy, the king will labour still to save his life. The commons happily rise to save his life, and yet we have but trivial argument, more than mistrust that shows him worthy death. So that by this you would not have him die. Ah, York, no man alive so fain as I. 'Tis York that hath more reason for his death, but my lord Cardinal and you, my lord of Suffolk, say as you think and speak it from your souls. Were't not all one empty eagle, were set to guard the chicken from a hungry kite, as place Duke Humphrey for the king's protector? So the protector chicken, so the poor chicken should be sure of death. Madam, 'tis true, and were't not madness sin to make the fox survey of the fold, who, being accused of crafty murder, his guilt should be but idly posted over because his purpose is not executed. No, let him die, in that he is a fox, by nature proved an enemy to the flock, before his chaps be stained with crimson blood, as Humphrey, proved by reasons, to my liege, and do not stand on quillets how to slay him, be it by gins, by snares, by subtlety, sleeping or waking. 'Tis no matter how, so he be dead, for that is good deceit, which mates him first that first intends deceit. Thrice, noble Suffolk, 'tis resolutely spoke. Not resolute, except so much were done, for things were often spoken, seldom meant, but that my heart accordeth with my tongue, seemed the deed is meritorious, and to preserve my sovereign from his foe. Say but the word, I will be his priest. But I would have him dead, my lord of Suffolk, ere you can take due orders for a priest. Say you consent and censure the deed, and I'll provide his executioner. I'll tender, so the safest of my liege. Here's my hand. The deed is worthy doing, and so say I, and I. And now we three have spoke it. It skills not greatly who impugns our doom. Enter a messenger. Great lords, from Ireland am I come amain to signify that rebels there are us, and put the Englishmen unto the sword. Send succours, lord, and stop the rage bedtime, before the wound do grow uncurable. For being green there is great hope of help. A breach that craves a quick expedient stop. What counsel give you in this weighty cause? Would Somerset be sent as regent thither? 'Tis meet that lucky ruler be employed. Witness the fortune he had in France.
Come on, Pom
If York with all his far-fetched policy had been the regent there instead of me, he never
not
would
here
I
to
have
fight
stayed in
fair.
France so long. No, not to lose it all as thou hast done. I rather would have lost my life betimes than bring a burden of dishonor home, by staying there so long till all were lost. Show me one scar charactered on my skin. Men's flesh preserved so whole do seldom win. Nay, then, this spark will prove a raging fire, if wind and fuel be brought to feed it with. No more, good York, sweet Somerset, be still thy fortune. York, hadst thou been regent there, might happily have proved far worse than his. What, worse than naught? Nay, then a shame take all, and in the number thee that wishest shame. My lord of York, try what your fortune is. The uncivil kerns of Ireland are in arms and timber clay with blood of Englishmen. To Ireland will you lead a band of men, collected choicely from each county some, and try your hap against the Irishmen? I will, my lord, so please his majesty. Why, our authority is his consent, and what we do establish he confirms. Then, noble York, take thou this task in hand. I am content, provide me soldiers, lords, whilst I take orders for thine own affairs. I charge Lord York that I will see performed, but now return we to the false Duke Humphrey. No more of him, for I will deal with him, that henceforth he shall trouble us no more. and so break off. The day is almost spent, Lord Suffolk. You and I must talk of that event. My Lord of Suffolk, within 14 days at Bristol I expect my soldiers, for there I'll ship them all for Ireland. I'll see it truly done, my Lord of York. Now, York, or never steal thy fearful thoughts, and change mistout to resolution. Be that thou hoppest to be, or what thou art resigned to death. It is not worth the enjoying. Let pale-faced fear keep with the mean-born man, and find no harbor in a royal heart. Faster than springtime showers comes thought on thought, and not a thought but banks on dignity. My brain, more busy than the laboring spider, weaves tedious snares to trap mine enemies. Well, nobles, well, 'tis politely done to send me packing with a host of men. I fear me you but worm the starved snake, who cherished in your breast will sting your hearts. 'Twas men I lacked, and you will give them me. I take it kindly, yet be well assured. You put sharp weapons in a madman's hands, while I in Ireland nourish a mighty hand. I will stir up in England some black storm, shall blow 10,000 souls to heaven or hell, and this fell tempest shall not cease to rage until the golden circuit on my head, like to the glorious sun's transparent beams, do calm the fury of this mad bred flaw. And for a minister of my intent I have seduced a headstrong Kentishman, John Cade of Ashford, to make commotion as full well he can, under the title of John Mortimer. In Ireland have I seen this stubborn Cade oppose himself against a troop of kerns, and fought so long till that his thighs with darts were almost like a sharp-quilled porpentine. And in the end, being rescued, I have seen him caper upright like a wild Morisco, shaking the bloody darts as his bell, full often like a chag-haired crafty kern. Hath he conversed with the enemy and discovered come to me again, and given me notice of their villainies. This devil here shall be my substitute for that John Mortimer, which now is dead, in face and gait and speech. He doth resemble, by this I shall perceive the commons mind, how they affect the house and claim of York. Say he be taken, racked, and tortured, I know no pain they can inflict upon him will make him say I moved him to those arms, so that he thrive, as 'tis great like he will. Why, then from Ireland come I with my strength, not to puke here, and reap the harvest which that rascal sowed, for Humphrey being dead, as he shall be, and Henry put apart for the next for me. Scene 2, Berry Street, Edmund, a room in the palace. Enter certain murderers, hastily. Run to my lord of Suffolk. Let him know we have dispatched the Duke. As he commanded. Oui, that it were to do. What have we done? Didst ever hear a man so penitent? Enter Suffolk. Here comes my lord.
Better give me a challenge.
Now, sirs, have you dispatched this thing?
Stick to the
Aye,
shadows.
my good lord, he's dead. Why, that's well said. Go get you to my house. I will reward you for this venturous deed. The king and all the peers are here at hand. Have you laid fair to bed? Is all things well, according as I gave
I'm in
directions?
control.
'Tis my good lord. Away begun. Sound trumpets, enter King Henry, Queen Margaret, Cardinal, Beaufort, Somerset, lords and others. Go call our uncle to our presence straight. Say we intend to try his grace today, if he be guilty, as 'tis published. I'll call him presently, my noble lord. Lords, take your places, and I pray you all. Proceed no straiters against our uncle Gloucester than from true evidence. Of good esteem, he be approved in practice culpable. God forbid any mouth should prevail
hope
that
we collected
faultless
enough
make him
intel.
a nobleman. Pray God he may acquit him of suspicion. I thank thee, Meg. These words content me much. Ranger Suffolk. How now? Why lookest thou pale? Why tremblest thou? Where is our uncle? What's the matter, Sir Folk? Dead in his bed, my lord. Gloucester is dead. Mary, God forfend. God's secret judgment. I did dream tonight. The Duke was dumb and could not speak a word. How fares my lord? Help, lords? The king is dead. Rear up his body. wring him up the nose. Run, go, help, help. Oi, Henry, ope thine eyes. He doth revive again. Madam, be patient. Oi, heavenly God, how fares my gracious lord? Comfort, my sovereign, gracious Henry, comfort. What, doth my lord of Suffolk comfort me? Came he right now to sing a raven's note, whose dismal tune bereft my vital powers? And thinks he that the chirping of a wren, by crying comfort from a hollow breast, can chase away the first conceived sound? Hide not thy poison with such sugared words. Lay not thy hands on me. Forbear, I say. Their touch affrights me as a serpent's sting. Thou baleful messenger, out of my sight. Upon thy eyeballs, murderous tyranny, sits in a grim majesty to fright the world. Look not upon me, for thine eyes are wounding, yet do not go away. Come, basilisk, and kill the innocent gazer with thy sight. For in the shade of death I shall find joy, in life but double death, now Gloucester's dead. Why do you rate my lord of Suffolk thus? Although the duke was enemy to him, yet he most Christian-like laments his death. And for myself, foe as he was to me, might liquid tears or heart-offending groans, or blood-consuming sighs recall his life. I would be blind with weeping, sick with groans, look pale as primrose with blood-drinking sighs. And all to have the noble duke alive. What know I how the world may deem of me? For it is known we were but hallowed friends, and may be judged I made the duke's way. So shall my name with slander's tongue be wounded, and princes' courts be filled with my reproach. This get I by his death. I me unhappy to be a queen, and crowned with infamy. Ah, woe is me for Gloucester, wretched man. Be woe for me, more wretched than he is. What, dost thou turn away and hide thy face? I am no loathsome leper. Look on me. What art thou, like the adder, waxen death? Be poisonous too, and kill thy forlorn queen. Is all thy comfort shut in Gloucester's tomb? Why, then, Dame Margaret, was ne'er thy joy? Erect his statue and worship it, and make my image but an alehouse sign. Was I for this nigh racked upon the sea, and twice by awkward wind from England's bank drove back again into my native clime? What boded this? What well forewarning wind did seem to say, seek not a scorpion's nest, nor set no footing on this unkind shore? What did I then, but curse the gentle gust, and he that loosed them forth their brazen caves, and bid them blow towards England's blessed shore, or turn our stern upon a dreadful rock? Yet Aeolus would not be a murderer, but left that hateful office unto thee. The pretty vaulting sea refused to drown me, and knowing that thou wouldst have me drowned on shore, with tears as saltest see thou through thy unkindness. The splitting rocks cowered in the sinking sands, and would not dash me with their ragged sides, because thy flinty heart, more hard than heavy, might in thy palace perish, Margaret. As far as I could ken thy chalky cliffs, when from thy shore the tempest beat us back, I stood upon the hatches in the storm. And when the dusky sky began to rob my earnest gaping sight of thy land's view, I took a costly jewel from my neck. A heart it was, bound in with diamonds, and threw it towards thy land. The sea received it, and so I wished thy body might my heart, and even with this I lost fair England's view, and bid mine eyes be panicking with my heart, and called them blind and dusky spectacles for losing kin of Albion's witch coast. How often have I tempted Suffolk's tongue, the agent of thy foul inconstancy, to sit and witch me as Ascanius did when he to mating Dido would unfold his father's axe, commenced in burning Troy. Am I not witched like her, or thou not false like him? Ay me, I can no more. Die, Margaret, for Henry weeps that thou dost live so long. Noise within. Enter Warwick and Salisbury. The commons press at the door. It is reported, mighty sovereign, that Duke Good Humphrey traitorously is murdered by Suffolk and the Cardinal of Beaufort means the commons like an angry hive of bees that want their leader scatter up and down and care not who they sting in his revenge. Myself have calmed their speenful mutiny until they hear the order of his death. That he is dead, good Warwick, 'tis too true. But how he died, God knows, not Henry. Enter his chamber, view his breathless corpse, and comments then upon his sudden death.
Wait till we get started here. Try to listen to the flow of words, the wording of it, alliterations and such. I don't think I had that one right as far as the paragraph went. It's not bad though. We're in it. We're in it to win it, boys. Okay.
Then shall I do, my liege. Stay, Salisbury, with this rude multitude till I return. Oui, thou that judgest all things, stay my thoughts. My thoughts that labor to persuade my soul some violent hands were laid on Humphrey's life. If my suspect be false, forgive me, God, for judgment only doth belong to me. Fain would I go to chafe his paly lips with 20,000 kisses, and to drain upon his face an ocean of his soft tears, to tell my love unto his deaf, dumb trunk, and with my fingers feel his hand, unfeeling, but all in vain are these mean obsequies, and to survey his dead and unearthly image, what were it but to make my sorrows greater? Re-enter, Warwick, and others being Gloucester's body in a bed. Come hither, gracious sovereign, view this body. That is to see how deep my grave is made, for which his soul fled all my worldly solace. For seeing him I see my life and death. As surely as my soul intends to live with that dread king that took our state upon him, to free us from his father's wrathful curse. I do believe that violent hands were laid upon the life of this thrice-famed duke. A dreadful oath, sworn with a solemn tongue. What instance gives Lord Warwick for his vow? See how the blood is settled in his face. Oft have I seen a timely parted ghost, of ashy semblance, meager, pale, and bloodless, being all descended to the laboring heart, who, in a conflict that it holds with death, attracts the same for aidance against the enemy with the heart. There cools and ne'er returneth. To blush and beautifully the cheek again. But see, his face is black and full of blood. His eyeballs further out than when he lived, staring full ghastly like a strangled man. His hair upreared, his nostrils stretched with struggling, his hands abroad displayed as one of the grasped and tugged for life, and was by strength subdued. Look on the street, look on the sheets, his hair, you see, his sticking,
I don't care what you are.
his well-proportioned beard made rough and rugged, like to the summer's corn by tempest lodged. It cannot be but he was murdered here. Least of all these signs were probable. Why, Warwick, who should do the Duke to death? Myself and Beaufort had him in protection, and we, I hope, sir, are no murderers. But both of you were vowed Duke Humphrey's foes, and you forsooth had the good Duke to keep. 'Tis like you would not feast him like a friend, and 'tis well seen he found an enemy. Then you be like suspecting these noblemen, as guilty of Duke Humphrey's timeless death, who finds the heifer dead and bleeding fresh, and sees fast by butcher with an axe, but will suspect 'twas he that made the slaughter, who finds the partridge in the puttock's nest, and may imagine how the bird was dead, although the kite soared with unbloodied beak. Even so suspicious is its tragedy. Are you the butcher, Suffolk? Where's your knife? Is Buford turned a kite? Where are his talons? I wear no strife, I wear no knife to slaughter sleeping men, but here's a bench of swords, rusting with ease. They shall be scored in this rancorous heart, that slanders me with murder's crimson badge. Sayest thou darest, proud lord of Warwickshire, that I am faulty in Duke Humphrey's death? What dares not Warwick if false Suffolk dare him? He dares not calm his contemptuous spirit, nor cease to be an arrogant controller, though Suffolk dare him 20,000 times. Madam, be still, with reverence may I say, for every word you speak in his behalf is slander to your royal dignity. A blunt-witted lord, ignoble in the demeanor. If ever lady wronged her lord so much, thy mother took into her blameful bed some stern, untutored churl, and noble stock was draught with crab tree slip, whose fruit thou art, and never of the Neville's noble race. But that's the guilt of murder, buckler's day, and I should rob the darks man of his fee, quitting thee thereby of 10,000 shames, and thee my sovereign's presence makes me mild. I would, false murder's coward, on thy knee, make thee beg pardon for thy past speech, and say it was my mother that thou mean'st, that thou thyself wast born in bastardy. After all this fearful homage done, give thee thy hire and send thy soul to hell, pernicious bloodsucker of sleeping men. Thou shalt be waking while I shed thy blood, if from this presence thou darest go with me. Away even now, or I will drag thee hence. Unworthy thou art, I'll cope with thee and do some service to Duke Humphreys. What stronger breastplates than a heart contained, untainted? Thrice is he armed that hath his quarrel just, and he but naked, though locked up in steel, whose conscience with injustice corrupted. Whose noise is this? Rangers Suffolk and Warwick with the weapons drawn. Why, how now, lords? Your wrathful weapons drawn, here in your presence, dare you be so bold? Why, what tumultuous clamor have we here? The traitorous Warwick, with men of Berry, set all upon me, mighty sovereign. Noise of crowd within re-enter Salisbury. Sirs, stand apart. The king shall know your mind. Dreadlord, the commons send you word by me. Unless false Suffolk straight by done to death, or banished fair England's territories, they will by violence tear him from your palace and torture him with grievous lingering death. They say, by him the good Duke Humphrey died. They say, in him they fear your highness death, and mere instinct of love and loyalty, free from a stubborn opposite intent as being thought to contradict your liking, makes them thus forward in his banishment. They say in care of your most royal person that if your highness should intend to sleep, and charge that no man should disturb your rest in plain of your dislike or pain of death, yet, notwithstanding such a strait edict, were there a serpent seen with forked tongue that slyly glided towards your majesty, it mere but necessary you were awake, lest being suffered in that harmful slumber, the mortal worm might have the sleep eternal. And therefore do they cry, though you forbid, that they will guard you where you will or no from such fell serpents as false Suffolk is, with whose envenom and fatal sting your loving uncle 20 times his worth, they say is shamefully bereft of lie. An answer from the king, my lord of Salisbury. 'Tis like the commons ruined unpolished hinds could send such a message to the sovereign. But you, my lord, were glad to be employed to show how quaint an orator you are. But all the honor Salisbury hath won is that he was the Lord Ambassador, sent from a sort of tinker to the king. An answer from the king, or we will all break in. Go, Salisbury, and tell them all from me. I thank them for their tender love and care, and had I not been cited so by them, Yet did I purpose as they do entreat. For sure my thoughts do hourly prophesy mischance, and to my state by Suffolk's means. And therefore by his majesty I swear, whose far unworthy nephew I am, he shall not breathe infection in this air by 3 days longer, on the pain of death.
I'm the perfect choice for this job.
Oi, Henry,
Stick to
let
the
me
shadows.
plead for gentle Suffolk. Ungentle queen, to call him gentle Suffolk. No more, I say, if thou dost plead for him. Get off me, thou wilt but add the increase unto my wrath. Had I but said, I would have kept my word. But when I swear, it is irrevocable. If after 3 days faith thou here bist found, on any ground that I am ruler of, the world shall not
I'm
be
a
ransom
big
for
cat,
thy
this
life.
Pom Jan.
Warwick, come, good Warwick, go with me. I have great matters to impart to thee. Mischance and sorrow go along with you. Heart's discontent and sour affliction be playfellows to keep your company. There's 2 of you. The devil make a 3rd, and 3-fold vengeance tend upon your steps. Cease, gentle queen, these execrations, and let thy Suffolk take his heavy leave. Fie, coward woman and soft-hearted wretch, hast thou not spirit to curse thine enemy? A plague upon them, wherefore should I curse them? Execrations. A plague upon them, wherefore should I curse them? Would curses kill as doth the mandrakes groan? I would invent as bitter, searching terms, as cursed, as harsh, and horribles to hear, delivered strongly through my fixed teeth, with full as many signs of deadly hate, as lean-faced envy in her lonesome cave. My tongue should stumble in mine earnest words, mine eyes should sparkle like the beaten flint, my hair be fixed on end as one distract. Aye, every joint should seem to curse and ban, and even now my burdened heart would break should I not curse them. Poison be their drink. Gall, worse than gall, the daintiest that
You're a
fat
cool
they
chap,
taste.
right?
Their sweetest shade a grove of cypress trees, their chiefest prospect murdering basilisks, their softest touch as smart as lizard stings, their music frightful as the serpent's kiss, and boding screech owls make the concert full. All the foul terrors in the dark-seated hell. Enough, sweet Suffolk, thou torments thyself. And these dread curses, like the sun's gaunt glasses, or like an overcharged gun, recoil and turn the force of them upon myself. You bade me ban, and will you bid me leave? Now, by the ground that I am
Who
banished
taught you
from,
such bad manners?
well, could I curse away a winter's night? Though standing naked on a mountain top, where biting cold would never let grass grow, and think it but a minute spent in sport. Oi, let me entreat thee, cease. Give me thy hand, that I may do it with my mournful tears. Nor let the rain of heaven
Stick to the shadows.
wet this place to wash away my woeful monuments. Oi, could this kiss be printed in thy hand? That thou mightest think upon these by the seal, through whom 1,000 sighs are breathed for thee, to get thee gone, that I may know my grief. 'Tis surmised, while thou art standing by, as one that surfeits thinking on a want. I will repeal thee, or will be assured to venture to be banished myself. And I banished I am, if but from thee. Go, speak not to me. Even now be gone. Oui, go not yet. Even thus 2 friends condemned, green egg ham, embrace and kiss and take 10,000 leaves, loather 100 times to part, then die. Yet now farewell, and farewell life with thee. Thus is poor Suffolk 10 times banished, once by the king, and 3 times thrice by thee. 'Tis not the land I care for, work'st thou thence, a wilderness of populous none. So Suffolk, had thy heavenly company for where thou art, there is the world itself, with every several pleasure in the world. And where thou art not, desolation, I can no more. Live thou to joy thy life. myself to joy in naught but that thou livest. Interview, intervow, view, view. Whither view so fast? What news, I prithee? To signify unto his majesty that Cardinal Beaufort is at point of death, for suddenly a grievous sickness took him, that makes him gasp and stare and catch the air, blaspheming God and cursing men on earth. Sometime he talks as if Duke Humphrey's ghost were by his side. Sometime he calls to the king and whispers to his pillow as to him the secrets of his overcharged soul, and I am sent to tell his majesty that even now he cries aloud for him. Go tell this heavy message to the king. Ay, me, what is this world? What news are these? But wherefore grieve I at an hour's poor loss? O many Suffolk's exile, my soul's treasure?
You won't get so lucky.
Why
next
only
time.
Suffolk, mourn I not for thee? And with the southern clouds contended in tears, theirs for the earth increase, mine for my sorrows? Not kiss thee hence, the king, thou knowest is coming. If thou be found by me, thou art but dead. If I depart from thee, I cannot live, and in thy sight
Time
to
eyes
die.
open.
What were it I else but like a pleasant slumber in thy lap? Here could I breathe my soul into the air, as mild and gentle as the cradled babe, dying with mother's dug between its lips, where from thy sight I should be raging mad, and cry out for thee to close up mine eyes, to have thee with thy lips to stop my mouth. So shouldst thou either turn my flying soul, or I should breathe it so into thy body, and then it lived in sweet Elysium. To die by thee were but to die in jest. From thee to die were to torture more than death. Oi, let me stay. Befall what may befall. Away, thou parting be a fretful corsive. It is applied to a deathful wound. To France, sweet Suffolk, let me hear from thee. For wheresoever thou art in the world's globe, I'll have an iris that shall find thee out. I go, and take my heart with thee, a jewel locked into the woeful cask that ever did contain a thing of worth. Even as a splintered bark, so sunder we. This way fall I to death. This way for me. Scene 3. London, Cardinal Beaufort's bedchamber. Enter King Henry, Salisbury, Warwick, and others. The Cardinal in bed, attendant with him. How fares my lord? Speak, Beaufort, to thy sovereign. If thou be'st death, I'll give thee England's treasure, enough to purchase such another island, so thou wilt let me live and feel no pain. Ah, what a sign it is of evil life,
Ready to play.
where death approach is seen so terrible. Beaufort, it is thy sovereign speaks to thee. Bring me unto my trial when you will. Died he not in his bed? Where should he die? Can I make men live where there will or no? Oi, or torture me no more, I will confess. Alive again? Then show me where he is. I'll give £1,000 to look upon him. He hath no eyes. The dust hath blinded them. Comb down his hair. Look, look, it stands upright. Like lime twigs set to catch my winged soul. Give me some drink, and bid the apothecary bring the strong poison that I bought of him. Oi, thou eternal mover of the heavens, look with a gentle eye upon this wretch. Oi, beat away the busy meddling fiend that lays strong siege into this wretched soul, and from his bosom purge this black despair. See how the pangs of death do make him grin. Disturb him not, let him pass peaceably. Peace to his soul, if God's good pleasure be. Lord Cardinal, if thou thinkest on heaven's bliss, hold up thy hand, make signal of thy hope. He dies and make no sign. Oi, God, forgive him. So bad a death argues a monstrous life. Forbear to judge, for we are sinners all. Close up his eyes and draw the curtain close, and let us all to meditation.
It's always a pleasure. Finish this up.
I've got all the intel you need. Let's surprise him.
Very good.